Toronto Blue Jays are making moves and following what is going to be a crucial series and a massive win yesterday. The Jays have made a move. We'll break down exactly what that is, but most importantly, discuss multiple huge injury updates, including updates surrounding George Springer and Anthony Santander. We finally have a big update surrounding him, as well as an update surrounding Andres Jimenez, as well as a few other stats to go over today, folks. A ton of updates. You're going to want to stay tuned until the end of the video. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage you aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has truly been unbelievable. You've been an absolute beast with the support. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for that support, folks. A lot to go over today. The Jays are coming off of just an unbelievable game yesterday. I mean, they put up a crooked number, over 20 hits. It was absolutely, quite literally insane. But we're going to be diving into a little bit from that game as well in this video. But I want to start with a move they made here. Just kind of get the housekeeping done here first. Infielder Buddy Kennedy is here with the Jays in Colorado on their taxi squad. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Buddy Kennedy is, I didn't really know who he is either, but we're not going to spend too much time on this. He's been around the majors for a little bit. He's 26 years old. He's currently playing, for Buffalo. He has a 567 OPS there. He actually has had some decent numbers in the minor leagues. He is a infielder, can play first, third, second. So he is up on the taxi squad. That's a move they've made on that front. Again, I'm just gonna kind of brush by this, but it is something that's interesting to note. Depending on if he ends up getting into games or anything like that, he is on the taxi squad. But now that that's out of the way, because I know a lot of people were wondering who he is. Been a guy, been with a bunch of different teams, journeyman kind of, and played with a lot of minor league teams. So the Jays do have a guy named Buddy Kennedy, in case you didn't know. But let's dive into the big news today, folks, and that is that Anthony Santander now feels 70% better than he did last week. He could potentially start swinging a bat next week. Now, this is interesting. So 70% better than he did last week. Obviously, the question is, how did he feel last week? We don't know. We assume that, 70% better is really good news. But for the longest time here, he wasn't able to pick up a bat. The good news is we're only a couple months away from the end of the season. They haven't ruled out a return this year. And if you can somehow get, now by a miracle, a somewhat healthy Anthony Santander, that lengthens the lineup even more, whether it's against lefties, whether it's just in general. And it says here from, Anthony Santander, from John Schneider, there was some labrum stuff going on there too, but he's improving. And he told John Schneider that he feels 70% better than he did a week ago. And they hope he's swinging it soon. 70% of which number? Not sure. Anyways, that's the update. So we finally got an update on him. And what we've been hearing for literally the past month or two, and the past months, was literally just he is, not progressing crazily. Ross Atkins came out after the trade deadline and came out and basically said a lot slower than the Jays expected, and things weren't going, as obviously as planned. And we think back to the start of the season, he was struggling, and then he went down with an injury, but then they brought him back early, ultimately clearly rushed him back, which they should not have done. And whether or not that was one of the reasons that they, he's been out the entire year almost, we'll never really know. We assume that's part of the reason. But now, if you can get him back towards, September, again, I'm not all the way out on Anthony Santander. Yes, he looked horrible in his time with the Jays so far. He was hurt. If he can get back healthy, he has the highest power upside, maybe aside from Vladdy, but Vladdy hasn't been hitting for power this year, or really the past few years, besides 2021. He has the highest power upside in the team, hit over 40 last year. I have full faith he can come back and actually get some big hits going for the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's something that's ultimately going to be very, very crucial. And let me know if you're excited for Mr. Santander finally making progress, I guess, not making his return or anything like that, but he's making progress. And, that's what matters. Making some progress with this Toronto Blue Jays team. And hopefully he can get back in the next, month or so. And if he does, then obviously that's going to be a pretty big update, because at the end of the day, they need everything they can get. They're doing, they put up a crooked number yesterday without George Springer, without, Santander all year. Varsho obviously coming back was huge. Let me know down below if you're excited, or if you've kind of just lost the plot with Santander and just, think, okay, it is what it is. We'll wash him, put him off till next year, and then next year, hopefully he comes back fully healthy. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. A few other updates regarding Shane Bieber. So he will make his next rehab start Saturday with AAA Buffalo, said manager John Schneider. Expectation is that Bieber will have another rehab start after, and then go from there on the next step. So next rehab start Saturday, then probably another rehab start after, then go for there. So we're looking at a couple weeks away at the very earliest, which I'm fine with. I think this is a play truly for the Toronto Blue Jays, where it's not just this year, this is beyond as well, whether that be next year, whether that be the year beyond that, and just beyond whatever it ends up being. I think they want to extend him, right? And I think making sure he's 100% healthy is not only going to be crucial for, this season, but years beyond as well. And obviously they want him to be in the playoff rotation. They want him to be an elite rotation player this year regardless. And in order to do that, he needs to be 100% healthy. And everything looks good, right? Like he's like he's going to be fairly healthy going forward. And that seems to be kind of the expectation for this guy. They're taking it slow. Very, very, taking huge precautions here. But ultimately, he's going to be back when he's back. Let's dive into some other news here. A ton dropped today, or yesterday rather. Andres Gimenez, he begins rehab assignment with Buffalo today, said John Schneider. So, of course, tomorrow, but this was yesterday night. So, today, this is huge as well. And obviously, Ernie Clement heading into yesterday's game was struggling, put up 4 hits in yesterday's game. His average over 285 now. Having Gimenez back is going to open up a ton, not only defensively, because Ernie Clement's great defensively, but being able to start Gimenez against, most righties and giving Clement days off in between instead of playing every day. I think that'll do wonders for him, especially when we know how good he is against lefties. Some of the biggest OPS, swings in the MLB between righties and lefties. You put him in only against lefties, things will be perfect for this, for the Toronto Blue Jays team. You then give Ernie Clement rest. You can also rest Andres Gimenez, especially as he starts to ease his way back in. Is Gimenez going to give you a ton of value offensively? No, but I truly believe he give you probably some more than Ernie Clement has been lately, even though, he was really good yesterday. It's going to be interesting to see what happens from there. George Springer, this one's also interesting. So he will join Buffalo. It will play either tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how he feels. He seems to be taking longer than expected because all signs are pointing to him returning today. That is not the case. He is actually going to be joining Buffalo. So he's probably like a week away. You assume, if he does a rehab game today or tomorrow, maybe he joins the team quicker than that. Maybe it's a few days away. But that one surprised me because I ultimately thought that George Springer was going to be returning very, very soon to this Toronto Blue Jays team. Like literally what we were hearing was he was going to return today. And then, of course, you go from there. I think, and I'm going to hope that their goal is on Friday against the Dodgers. I think that's probably their aim right now. Even if he has his rehab start today or tomorrow, you have an off day Thursday, then into Friday. And Friday's the big series. You obviously need to take care of business against the Rockies, but the Dodgers, they're going to be really tough. You need all of your A power against, an unbelievable starting pitching staff they have over there. And you're going up against the best of the best. You're going up against Kershaw. You're going up against guys like Yamamoto and all these different players. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on that front. Blake Snell as well, I believe it is. So it's going to be interesting. Now, let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. Also, quick note before we wrap up, Alek Manoah, his next rehab start is with AA New Hampshire on Tuesday. So he's slowly inching back too. A lot of guys slowly starting to return. Nothing on Jimmy Garcia. He's one of the other guys that, albeit the Jays bullpen's very good right now, will be interesting to note going forward. But folks, that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. But quickly before we do wrap up, I want to dive into a couple other things here, just for projected starters for today. Today's going to be Berríos versus Kyle Freeland, a guy who's been around for a while, a very solid pitcher, but this year is having a really bad year, 5.26 ERA. And then, of course, tomorrow will be Gausman. You got to sweep this series now. You took care of business yesterday, crushed them today, take care of business, and then you move on to in between the off day, a brutal series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Folks, that'll wrap it up. What are your thoughts on all these updates, the Buddy Kennedy move? And also, if you've made it this far in the video, I'll see you in the comment section. Let me know in the comments right now, do you want to see me start going live for post-game streams? Obviously, I've been doing a lot of post-game videos. Do you want me to start going live after games to get live reactions, 15, 20-minute live stream after the games? If you made it this far, and you're seeing this, let me know down below in the comments. I'll heart them all because I know you guys stayed tuned to the end. You guys are the best. See you guys later.